Welcome to this episode of the Standing Ovation.
There are a lot of different types of AI. Generative AI is a subset of AI, artificial intelligence overall. And it is a form of AI that specifically focuses on generating new content. So that could be generating text, it could be images, it could be audio, it could be video. It takes a data set and it turns into something brand new. For example, you type in a description of a picture and it generates an image for you from that description. Compare this, let's just take machine learning, something that most people will have heard of, which is really focused on learning and recognizing patterns in data and then making a prediction and a classification about what comes next. So something comes in, it looks at all the data it has, it finds a pattern that matches it, and it gives you, hey, this is what might come next. So when you're searching in Google, you type in a few words and you get all the predictions of what you might finish with. That's more machine learning, trying to predict what you might say next. I think generative AI is so powerful because it can create brand new, unique, and creative outputs. It can answer questions. It can summarize large data sets. It can create images from descriptions. It can produce music based on a description of a feeling. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And when you do see it in action, it does kind of feel like magic. You can't really believe that it's happening, and it does. So let's take one application of AI to compare different types of AI. Let's take chatbots or virtual assistants or conversational AI. So using machine learning for chatbots and natural language processing, a customer comes to your website and they ask a question. You can understand the intent of what they're asking for, what they're trying to get out, and then you can map that to an answer you have in your system. Hey, when somebody asks A, we usually answer with B. And you can get really good question and answer type responses using that natural language process. And this is great and really powerful when you really want to control the narrative. You want an exact message. You want to leave nothing to chance. You can match an inbound to the exact answer. The downside of this approach is it takes a lot more time and effort in the conversational design to create the messages, define the intents, train the data, and make sure those experiences are truly seamless. So compare that same use case, chatbot, to generative AI. You can feed it a set of data. You can feed it your content. This could be a knowledge base, a database, public website, documents. And then when a customer asks a question, it generates a new answer to that question that's unique to that specific customer, and it answers what they just asked, which again, kind of like magic. And this is great because if you already have all the content in your knowledge base, you can immediately translate vast amounts of data into simple conversational interfaces. Without much work on top of it at all. Maybe you fine tune it a little bit, you set some guardrails, but it's really quite simple. The downside is you don't have full control over the content that's generated. You can ask the same question and get two different responses. And so that can be risky depending on the types of question you're answering. But the upside is you don't need to write and define every possible answer and outcome. You can focus on creating the best foundational content for the model to use and let the model answer it. And so like most things in life, I think the best answer is somewhere in the middle. It's probably a hybrid to these solutions. And that's how we think about AI. We use different tools to solve different problems. So you might want a subset of questions to be exact, full control, and you want to define the answer, the flow to your exact specifications. You can do that. But you don't have time to write 10,000 answers to 10,000 possible questions a customer might answer. So maybe you use generative AI to own the long tail of questions and still give a really great experience. You add a little bit of risk, but you've mitigated your risk by controlling the really high risk or high impactful answers you want with the more defined answers. So that's a little bit about difference between generative AI and machine learning and an application to conversational AI and how we think about it. So I believe AI is going to change not only the CX industry, but really every industry. If you look back 10, 20 years and what software did for essentially every industry, I think AI is going to do the same and maybe even magnitudes greater. CX specifically will be significantly impacted by AI in a good way. It is going to make customer experiences significantly better. And this is both for the people delivering those experiences as well as the customers on the receiving end of those experiences. So I think it's going to be a win-win for everybody involved. You will have the teams delivering the experiences. They'll be equipped with more data, more context, more insights, speed to get to answers will be faster. So they'll be able to deliver these answers and these overall experiences faster to their customers than ever before. You'll see repetitive tasks that take a lot of time today. They will be completed faster and with higher accuracy. Thinking about something like when somebody asks you a question, you have to go search for an article. You've got to read through it. You got to find the part relative to them, summarize the answer, put that in an email, send that to them. If you could take all the searching out of it and just focus on the answer and delivering that to them, that saves a lot of time for the teams delivering those experiences. Or something like writing up a summary to an email thread that's 75 emails long. That could take hours to read all the emails, summarize it, get all the nits. What if you could click a button and just get that summary that has all that context? So I think some of those long tail repetitive tasks will go away, which just makes it better for everybody involved. And I think customer experiences will increasingly become personalized at scale, which is a very hard thing to do today. Given the amount of context and history and the understanding of emotional and sentiment of language that AI can have, you're going to be able to deliver this to customers. It'll feel like you're talking specifically to them, which you will be, rather than a general answer for everybody. You remember the Staples easy button? Click a button. That was easy. I feel like that's what it's going to do to the CX industry. Is for everybody involved, things will just get easier. Finding the answer, delivering the answer, receiving the answer, asking the questions, things will be faster. As long as the quality of the answers delivered can stay high, the whole experience is going to get better over the next couple of years. So we have leveraged AI in our software for many years. From conversational AI and chatbots to agent assist knowledge suggestions and knowledge delivery. We have a fairly robust set of AI tools throughout the platform today, but the evolution of generative AI in the past year, but really past 6 months, and what has happened in that space, it's changed the game for what's possible. So when we think about adding AI to our platform, we only do it when AI is actually the best way to solve a specific customer problem. AI sometimes is the best way, and it's oftentimes not. So you want to really understand, why are you using it? Do you need to use it? If you don't need to use it, don't, because it's more complex. It adds more variables. So we try to be thoughtful about where we include it. We also take a flexible approach when incorporating AI, using different types of models, even using models from different organizations and different offerings, so you don't get locked into any specific organization. And I think this is critical, especially with how fast the market is changing, where if you build on one specific instance or one specific provider and the market shifts a new direction, you can get stuck. So for an example, even with our large language models we have in our platform today, you can move between OpenAI's GPT, we can move between Bard and Llama, depending on what provides the best performance and quality for that specific use case. And it's a cost performance trade-off as well. You can switch the models based on the outcome you're looking for. So we try to build flexibility in as a foundation, and we try to only really leverage AI when it makes sense to leverage AI. When it comes to our strategy for adding AI, we generally are taking a somewhat measured approach. We work with a lot of financial institutions, a lot of enterprises, and being thoughtful about how we roll out AI is really important to us. So while Gen AI is powerful, it's not without risk. And I think one of the biggest risks for Gen AI in the CX world is what's called hallucinations. Since these AI models are generating brand new content on each use, every question gets a totally brand new answer. There's no guarantee that the content it's generating will be factually correct, even if it uses a factually correct, valid data set to generate the content. Probability is high that it will, but it's not a guarantee. And so what we've done is we've thought through our roadmap in a way that allows organizations to leverage Gen AI immediately, but start with low-risk applications and slowly move towards higher-risk applications as they gain trust in their fine-tuned models of their Gen AI. So as kind of a roadmap, we think about it in a couple buckets. So it's summarize, suggest, improve, answer, and on to insights. So what does that mean? First, we start with summarization. The lowest risk you can. Take all the emails in a thread and just tell me what happened, or take all the interactions for this customer over the last 6 months. Give me a summary of how are they? Do they have escalated cases? How are they feeling? What's their sentiment? Just tell me what's going on. It's low risk because it's not customer facing. It's internal only. You're likely not making major decisions based on that data, but it does save a lot of time manually writing up those summaries. So we start with summarization. Then we go to suggesting. So now all your data is flowing, you fine tune your models, and we start to bring answers to your users, your internal users, using your content. Hey, I see you're chatting about this. This might be helpful. Check out this article. Look at this answer. or give them a place where they can just ask a question and it can deliver the answer directly back to the frontline agent, the person helping and delivering the customer experience. So you still have the human oversight. You're not delivering anything directly to a customer. They still review, edit, control what goes out, but you're saving them a ton of time from doing the searching and the writing and all that. So that's our suggest bucket. Once you have these suggestions and they're being used, you can improve the quality. So you have training consoles where you can go and you can see the system will generate questions that it derives from all your customer questions and a suggested answer. You can edit the answer, you can tweak it, you can refine it, you can accept it, and all those feedback loops helps make your models better. And the further you tune your models, the better answers you're going to be delivering. So as you start to train them and tune them, and you see the quality increasing over and over for your internal users, now's the time you extend it out to customers. And this is our answer bucket. Let's answer customers directly. So a live chat in your website, you open up Gen AI to respond directly to customers. An email comes in, you can generate the email, and maybe you start with somebody reads it, reviews it, and clicks send. And someday when all they're doing is clicking send over and over, just automatically send the email. And so once you have the trust in the system and the quality, you can move to that automatic answer phase. And then finally, insights. You have all this data, you have these messages flowing. You want insights in what's going on. So actually, can you ask your data questions in natural language? What are my most escalated topics? What are customers most concerned about? And get answers and charts back to you without having to do heavy data lifting, data analysis, Excel work, and all of that. You can get that from natural language that pulls out. So that's kind of the trend of how we think about incorporating AI into the system and rolling it out with new organizations that are starting on their Gen AI journey. And so a little bit, we think about AI horizontally. We take a horizontal approach to AI. So we have a unified data layer and a unified AI layer that spans all of our modules. And so each module that we have will have AI capabilities built into it. So a couple examples of what this means. Our CX Manager module, that's where you can summarize interactions, summarize journeys, summarize entire customer histories. So teammates don't have to spend time reviewing logs, taking notes, researching interactions. That's where you can generate email responses. So a teammate doesn't have to review 75 emails on the chain. They can just say, hey, tell me what this was about, generate the email, review it, and click send. You just saved 10, 20, an hour on that one single customer interaction. And proactively delivering suggestions to users. That all falls in our CX Manager bucket. In our conversations module, virtual assistants, just let the Gen AI actually generate these answers, interact directly with your customers. In our knowledge module, what if you could type in a few bullets and hit generate, and it generates a full-length technical writing content in your brand voice with good grammar and everything you want to do. So now your content is consistent across all the different people writing content. You still need SMEs. You still need the people to own the content, decide what to write about, but you can have consistency in grammar and formatting and brand voice across all your knowledge that's public to your customers. So those are a few different examples about how Gen AI will start to be infused into our various modules. And that was a lot. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of a glimpse into how we think about Gen AI and how we're incorporating it. I would say generally, we view AI as a tool to empower humans. It's a tool that's going to allow humans to not think about the mundane stuff so they can focus on doing what humans do best, being thoughtful, being critical thinkers, having empathy, and really just ensuring in the CX space that their customers are taken care of. And so this might mean delivering answers to them, first having them go search for them, or suggesting article topics to write about based on customer questions rather than them pouring through Excel sheets to try to find a trend in the data to take action on. So I think, especially in the near term, it will be an empowerment for the users delivering CX. That being said, there will be areas that I think full automation will take shape and it'll grow as time passes and humans won't be needed in certain roles anymore. But I believe the role of the human won't go away. Rather, it's going to evolve and change and kind of move to a different focus. So there's always more to do. If you want to deliver a better experiences, you can always do more. So I think the focus changes to a new type of work, leveraging a new suite of tools. So for example, someone might spend their day reviewing, editing, and approving content in a training console rather than writing it from scratch for every customer that has the same question over and over. Big time saver, but you still need the oversight. You still need the human brain making sure everything is factually correct and accurate and feels good and is going out the door. I think in the CX industry, CX leaders will become intimately familiar with AI, and I think they'll view it as a critical part of their toolkit to deliver high quality and personalized experiences at scale. I do think it will feel as common as email or Slack or a to-do list. I think in 10 years, we'll look back and actually wonder how we had CX at all without it. The amount of effort we spend on some of these manual things today, I think it'll blow people's minds. I think there'll come a time when software that isn't infused with AI will feel antiquated and almost hard to use. If you've tried typing on a mobile keyboard lately with a keyboard that doesn't have autocorrect, it'll feel like that. You'll be typing away furiously, you'll look down and nothing will make sense. And you'll realize how dependent you've become on something like autocorrect, and you don't even know it's there. It's invisible to the human eye, but it's helping you along the way. I think all software and enterprise software will start to feel like that. It'll follow you around. It'll kind of smooth out the edges. It'll make the whole experience seamless rather than just displacing people. So that's where I think that AI and work and humans are all going to interact over the coming years. There will be plenty of companies that resist bringing on AI. Some may not understand the full potential and the capabilities of it. Others may not like the idea of replacing or moving humans to new roles in their organization. Others may just be nervous about a new technology or have security concerns about what comes next. And those are all valid concerns. I do think the risk of sitting on the sidelines, I don't think it'll be immediately apparent. But as time goes on and customers become accustomed to the level of support and the experiences they get from AI-powered companies, faster, better, more personalized interactions, I think the companies that don't adopt will be leapfrogged by the ones that do. And it'll be slow and steady and then all at once. And it'll be hard to work with the companies that, why don't you understand me like this one does? It'll just feel different. And I think at companies, when teams are 10 times more efficient, delivering 10 times better experiences, they'll be able to take all the saved time and people and the brain power and focus it on growth and focus it on the value prop that they deliver for their company. They'll have higher NPS, they'll have better customer retention, and they'll ultimately take over market share. So I do think AI and CX is going to be a critical linchpin for growing and maintaining companies and being leaders in your industry. And I think it's interesting because it will be invisible at first. It'll take time to catch up. But over time, as customer expectations change, all of a sudden it'll be in your face and it'll be very hard to retain customers if you don't have it. I have a pretty good idea of what we're going to be building over the next 3 and 6 months when it comes to Gen AI, summarizations, suggestions, training consoles, response generations, natural language insights, and more on those paths. But I think it's almost impossible to predict much further out than that. Given how fast everything is changing, even a month or two out, there might be new innovations that actually completely change the roadmap. So I can say with confidence that Gen AI will continue to be a strategic place on our roadmap into the foreseeable future. But given how fast everything's changing and evolving, I can't say for sure exactly what we will be building a year out. But I think that's the beauty of agile development. We keep our finger on the pulse of the market, on the new technology, on our customer needs, on the industry, and we can quickly adapt and deliver high impact products to our customers that enable them to provide the best possible customer experiences to their end customers. I mean, it feels like every week, if not day, there's some new major breakthrough in the space, some new innovation coming to market that's really changing what's possible. So I can think about 2023, 2024, I have no idea. But I think at a high level, we will see significant advancements in generative AI and large language models. I mean, that's one of the biggest major changes that happened over the course of this past year in the land of AI. I think the models will become more efficient. They will become higher performance. We'll see higher quality outputs. I think we'll be able to fine tune more easily and more accurately with the models available. But in addition to just the models getting better, I think we're going to see new applications of the models that are going to uncover new uses for what already exists today. So I think if you didn't even change the underlying AI technology for some of these large language models, I think for the next 12 months, we might see new innovative applications of those models, what they're capable of. I don't even think we know what they're capable of yet. There's a lot of things happening, experimentation happening. And it's not even just the technology of the underlying models that's going to improve, but it's how do we use them? What are the use cases? What's the output of these models that's really going to blow people's minds? I think we'll see continued natural language processing advancement. The conversations and the responses in the generative AI will become more natural. They'll be more context aware. They'll be able to have more inputs about everything surrounding it to deliver more personalized answers, to the point where, I mean, it already does, but it's going to feel like magic of what it can do. I think the language generated will start to feel better than what you personally can write in a lot of cases. And it's going to contain all this context of more than a human can actually hold in their brain all at once. I think beyond language, there's going to be a lot of innovation and a lot of advancement in not just generating the content, but incorporated actions. So these, I think a lot of the magic that's happening right now is generated content from these models, but as they continue to evolve and new applications become available, how can you kind of chain these models together? How can they generate and complete tasks? How can they interact with other third-party software systems? We started to see this with new plugins and things like that, but we'll start to see them more deeply integrated with the broader technology ecosystem rather than just being a siloed feature that people might leverage. They will become an integrated piece of how systems start to interact with each other.